All right. Welcome, everyone, to today's daily macro update for Thursday, February 6th. If you guys are joining on YouTube, you can go ahead and click the link below in the description that fast forwards you to where this starts. We're going to go ahead and let some people join in here. Apologies about the delay. I appreciate your patience. I had a doctor's appointment, so running a little bit behind today, but no worries, no worries. We're going to continue going forward here and talk about the setup that's happening with the current jobs market. So we'll go ahead and let some more people roll in here. How's it going? How are you doing? Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. How's everyone doing? Yeah, the jobs cuts that came out today wasn't too bad. It is interesting seeing what the market is trying to price in for tomorrow's labor market data. And yeah, we'll go ahead and go through all that stuff here momentarily, but we're going to let some more people join in here. Welcome, welcome. We're going to bring up some charts as well. The S&P 500 right now is up very slightly. Everyone's pretty much waiting for this jobs report tomorrow. And we're going to be going over the entire setup here, getting into this. So just hold on momentarily while we let some more people join in here. Happy Thursday. What's going on, man? Love your insights. The real Alessandro. I love your viewership, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel here. All right, 1 second. If you guys have any questions, leave those in the comments below. I'll definitely get to them. As always, we're going to start here in about 2 minutes, and then we'll go through everything. So welcome, welcome. Let me just go ahead and get this going here. All right. Maybe what we can do is we can go over some different tickers that you guys are currently invested in, and then we can go from there. So if you just want to comment any of the tickers or anything that you're looking at below, we can go ahead and take a look at some of those. And then in about 5 minutes or so, we can just get into the daily macro report. So go ahead and leave a comment below on what tickers you're currently looking at, and I'll make sure to take a look at those and give them our insights from our macro model here. Yeah, taking a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is having a little bit of issue trying to stay above here. You see what's happening right now is you have a very large drop off in volume. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed that, but the drop off in volume with Bitcoin is notable. Typically that means that the market is gearing up for something. And so it will be interesting to see how it reacts. If our team has been long Bitcoin most recently since the beginning of October. And so, we were taking some profits in green here. And, I was taking some profits on this lower high. I still had a core position maintained here, and I was taking some more profits, and I still maintain a slight core position in Bitcoin. But the reason for that is because it's still bullish trend. If it does break this, though, it would have to close. It would have to close around like 88K for me to go bearish on it. I could do that, but that's still what is that? $7,000 below it. Yeah, I mean, if it had like a 9% correction and it closed at that level, then yeah, that would essentially make me bearish on Bitcoin at that point in our model. But as of this point, Bitcoin still remains bullish in our model. So does XRP. XRP also remains bullish. That's something where it seems to have a little bit of a pretty stark correction here, but essentially this would be a point where you want to start gearing up to make a position on it. Although I do not like how I do not like this drop off right here, but it is still technically bullish. It is just losing a lot of strength. Hold on one second here. All right, let's take a look here. In what market still looking for clues on inflation? Would cooling jobs be bullish? Well, not necessarily. It really just depends on where it lands and what kind of correction that we have in the jobs market. But we can take a look at JP Morgan. That remains in a clear bullish trend. Didn't really give too much of a buying opportunity either. Elf. Bearish. Clear bearish trend. Stay away from that or short that thing. Microsoft is bearish in our model. Google remains bullish, but it is, losing some momentum here. I was buying some a little bit yesterday at around 191, and I did take a little bit off on this little pop here. Are banks really adopting XRP? I don't know. Onyx coin is in bullish trend. That thing has been crazy, but it is starting to lose a little bit. But it still remains bullish. But, I wouldn't be surprised if it has a drop, in order to get in larger. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments from TikTok here. SPY was not a good day today. It was just moving up and down. Yeah, that's true. 9876 5TS. Appreciate the follow. Euro is in bullish trend. New meeting 13th. Solana is bearish. What stocks would you recommend if I believe that government will replace, I don't know, ASTS? Looks like that had a decent pop. Looks like it was bearish a couple days ago, but so far in February, it's having a decent month. It's in the telecom sector. Yeah, I mean, communications is in bullish trend, so no surprise there. Tic Tac Joe, thank you for the follow. Soundhound AI, yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, I mean that does remain in bullish trend, although it has lost a significant amount of momentum here. If it does close right here, then and it starts to decline, that would show that it is starting to lose a lot of trend strength there. So I'd just be careful. We're going to go until about 3:15 because I know that I joined up here a little bit later than typical. So we'll just keep it going here. Thoughts on what do you think about commodities right now? EXXY basket with gold and oil. Well, those commodities have been bullish. So if you take a look specifically at a chart of like GSG. I mean, just look at this chart. Look at this volume print right here. Look at that. I mean, yeah, I mean, commodities are bullish, which could be inflationary. TEM is bullish. Nancy Pelosi's favorite stock. Although it's having a little bit of a correction here. If you guys have Tempest, I mean, right here would not be a bad spot to, take profits on that. Even if you got in after the news already broke that Nancy Pelosi bought it, I mean, it's had a 30% rally, even at the point right here. If you were selling at the top yesterday, that you were in it for almost a 40% rally. So, not too shabby. Mate, how long we going on Tau? I want more. Why? It's an bearish trend. This thing looks not good. People, no, I don't mean to offend you or anything or disrespect you, anything like that, Kuno or Canoe. But why own something if it's an bearish trend? I'm just curious. Like, it doesn't make sense to me to own this at all. Ethereum is bearish. NVIDIA is bearish. Tic Tac Joe, thank you for your viewership, brother. Yeah, we can take a look at Ethereum right here, though. So when it comes to my process with cryptocurrencies, I mean, obviously this is an bearish trend, but just look at the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. Look at this. This is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. What has it done? What has it done since 2013? Like, there is no point in owning Ethereum if Bitcoin's doing this. What if I invert this chart? This is Bitcoin versus Ethereum. It's going exponential. People are ditching their Ethereum right now to go into Bitcoin. And if you don't believe me, just look at a chart of Bitcoin dominance. Look at this. So it doesn't really make sense to me to own too many altcoins. The only ones that I will own are the ones that not only have bullish trend on their price action, but also as well, they are beating Bitcoin in terms of percentage gains. So like if I go to a chart of XRP versus Bitcoin, you can see that versus Bitcoin, it is losing a little bit of strength here, but it's still in a clear bullish trend, even though it is starting to lose a little bit towards Bitcoin. So if it does fall out, then we'll see what happens. It really depends on the state of the altcoin space. I mean, altcoins in general are not having a fun time right now. And if you were able to recognize that all the way at the beginning of January, that was the time to get out. And look, if you're somebody who is maybe over leveraging cryptocurrencies or whatever risk asset, it really pays to make sure that you have a process to where you can track these trend changes. And part of doing that is by having a math structure with the charts, as well as paying attention to the macro data. And so if you guys need help with this, right now we have a 7-day free trial for our macro investing community, which you can just use the link in my bio. Even if you're just in there for 7 days and then cancel it so it doesn't charge you anything and you just take the course for free, at least you're able to have that baseline for how you guys want to have that information. So I highly encourage that. It's a 7-day free trial, so you have nothing to lose there. But taking a look at some of the TikTok comments here, let's go ahead and take a look at Brett, which is got you 1K likes. Appreciate that. Thank you, RB Studio. That helps the algorithm, I think. Canoe says he likes Tau because of the project and the staking returns. Okay. But the thing is that if you're staking something and it's in a bearish trend, that means that you're still coming out at a net loss. So, I mean, even if you bought down here, you're pretty close to possibly your cost basis, unless you bought up here, which in case it doesn't really make sense to stake it. Brett, let's take a look at that. The crap coin of crap coins. Man, that thing looks terrible. Let me get a better chart. Yeah, I mean, Brett is, this is a nasty looking chart. Incredibly bearish. The price now will be a steal in 5 years' time. It was having just, okay, that's fine. But you have to realize that with something like Tau, you know, why own it while it's still going down? Why not own it when you wait for it to reclaim bullish trend? Like, again, it just doesn't make sense to own something that continues to go down because I'm trying to compound my wealth, not completely destroy it. Can you look at Comcast? Sure, let's take a look. Comcast is bearish trend. Should we hold until NVIDIA until after earnings? I can't tell you what to do, Dinopreneur, but in our model, NVIDIA is in bearish trend. And so you can use this time on this little pop that it's having today to just, I mean, I personally would, if I still held NVIDIA, I would just completely get rid of it and just wait for it to reclaim bullish. Nothing outperforms Bitcoin. In the long term, sure, viral videos, but in the short term, then, you know, things can outcompete Bitcoin in the short term. It just depends. What about a free trial, chi.eth? It's our macro investing community. I won't be selling, mate, so I won't be in a loss. You only lose when you sell. I mean, unless you're forced to sell because of some things that happen in real life, as well as for people who just hold when things go down like this, what you're really doing is severely disrupting your compounding effect over time. So what people who just buy and hold altcoins and cryptocurrencies don't understand is that by the time you retire, you're going to have some type of wealth stored up, hopefully, so that you don't have to, you know, keep working into your 80s and then just plop dead at work. Hopefully, you'll have some type of savings by then. But what happens is when you have these short-term drawdowns, even if it's in a project that you really like, the percentage drawdown ends up severely disrupting that compounding effect over time by the time you want to retire. And so a 25 or 30% drawdown in 1 year could mean that by the time you retire at 2030, that little drop that you had in the year 2025, that caused a $2 million drop in your in your retirement account when you look at that compounding curve. So I hope that makes sense. All right, let's see. What do you think about ZBCN? Let's see. And it's always never what I think. It's always what the math is saying. So the math right now is saying that it's bearish. What is wrong with Tesla stock? I don't know, but it did go neutral today in our model. Tesla is no longer bullish in the model. It's neutral, which means you just wait and watch. How long do you think before Solana recovers? I don't know, biker. I don't have a crystal ball. It recovers when it does. If it does reclaim bullish trend, then I'll be looking at it on a pullback. Let's see. Amazon earnings. Yeah, the Amazon earnings tonight are pretty interesting. We'll see what happens with that. You know, so far, you know, even if you take a look at a chart of Amazon, you know, it has rallied into the earnings. So if you were just risk managing this, what you would want to do, and I'm not telling you to do this because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy on the internet who's made some money by having a macro process and can do this full time. But for me, you'd be taking profits into this and raising cash so that you can buy back lower. Whenever I say sell, that doesn't mean you completely sell out of your position and that I'm automatically bearish. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm trying to compound my returns. And so what you want to do is you want to take things at a minimum, especially into an event like tonight's Amazon earnings. And then if it does go up from there and you get it wrong, that's okay, because you can just wait for another pullback to get in lower. Or if it does, what we think it's going to do, or not what we think it's going to do, if it does end up going down, and let's say it has a correction down to this level here, then great. Then I have cash to buy it lower. It still remains in bullish trend. Last cycle, ETH NFTs. This cycle, Solana memes. We'll see. Just saw your video about jobs and labor week. Do you think I should sell my S&P 500 shares? No, I mean, I can't tell you what to do, Dev. And look, the S&P 500 is still in bullish trend. So this doesn't mean that you just panic sell everything. What that means is that you just observe what's going on, and if it does have a correction, then you have cash to buy lower. Just to be clear, I am not bearish on the S&P 500 because it still is in a clear bullish trend, although it's lost a lot of momentum. I am not panicking at all. And so, this could easily continue higher in the S&P 500. All we're doing is recognizing that the Fed, has its mandate. The market, Wall Street, really wants the Fed to start cutting rates because it can't survive any longer without its steroid injections and its sugar. But even though it has been doing relatively well over the past couple of years, even with higher rates, I think that the market could still do well if rates remain higher. But for some reason, Wall Street is not convinced, even though that's what's been going on over the past couple of years. Do you buy any bonds? I'm not buying bonds currently, but because I see that yields are currently in a bullish trend still. So, but they are losing. Actually, the 10-year U.S. government bond yield has lost a lot of momentum here. But I'm just being cautious because similarly, if you guys remember back at the beginning of December, that was when you had a lot of people trying to buy bonds at that point too, and then they got ripped. So you got to be careful. Are you bullish on crude oil? In our model right now, oil is not bullish. It is a neutral trend. So I'm not buying it and I'm not selling it. I'm just going to wait and watch. All right, let's go over to the Instagram comments here. Let's see. Any plays for the TikTok ban deal? I don't think that's going to actually get banned, but I'm pretty sure that Facebook, Meta, bought TikTok because, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen a chart of Meta recently, but it's the best performing Mag 7 right now. And what I will have to warn is, see how Meta's been accelerating here. Look at this drop off in volume. That is a bearish divergence. Now, when I say bearish divergence, that doesn't mean that I'm going bearish on Meta. What that means is that if you're bullish on it and you have positions, when it's dropping off in volume like that, that is a clear sign to take profits so that you can buy lower. You guys see this drop off in volume here as the price goes up? That's a bearish divergence. Okay. Why was any idea why the 3 index decided to dive just now? Kasem_B. Could you rephrase that, please? Thanks. What do you think about Arbitrum? NB, I see you. I see you, brother. 1 second. Arbitrum, unfortunately, is in bearish trend right now, so I would not be touching this. VOO, yeah. So the S&P 500 is technically bullish. If we want to bring up a chart of VOO, it's basically the same thing, but yeah, it remains in bullish trend. Yeah, Amazon. We're still bullish on Amazon. It's in a clear bullish trend, but what you typically want to do is if you're risk managing appropriately, you want to take a little bit of profits heading into these big reports, so that you have cash just in case. And even if you get it wrong, right? Let's say that Amazon reports and it ends up going higher. Don't FOMO into it the next day. Okay, wait until the earnings shock is over, see what happens on that next day, and if it ends up going down a little bit more, then just buy the dip because you have cash now. Look at that. Ultra short term VIX futures. Nah, I mean, this is yeah, I wouldn't be touching this. Rigetti. Yeah, it definitely remains in a bullish trend. I personally would not be buying it here because it's pretty much just gone sideways, and I'd probably wait for a drop. It also didn't print a new high, so yeah, I mean, as of right now, I probably would be very cautious with Rigetti at this point in time. Prediction on earnings for Amazon? I don't know. I haven't gone down the rabbit hole of the earnings potential, so all right. What is your opinion on MicroStrategy? Steaks and meats, what's up? How's it going? MicroStrategy, nominally it is in a bullish trend still, but it's lost a lot of momentum with my forward indicator. So, seeing that Bitcoin is also starting to lose trend, MicroStrategy is essentially a 2 or 3x leverage Bitcoin position. And so I probably wouldn't be buying MicroStrategy, especially since, look, it's been forming a series of lower highs here. So I would just be cautious with that. Thoughts on borrowing fees on silver going vertical? Where does silver fit with gold and that narrative at the moment? Yeah, I mean, silver has been doing pretty well, and it remains bullish trend with gold. Um, if you want to do a silver to gold ratio, let's see what that looks like. I actually haven't seen this. Um, this silver to gold ratio, it does look like silver is bearish compared to gold. And so, gold would be preferred over silver at this point. Matt Ilakua, thank you for the follow. AMD stinks, sucks. Yeah, I mean, this is something that I forget who brought up the other day. But on this pop right here, we were pretty bearish on AMD, and so since then, AMD has gone down 7%, and this is why you have to recognize the trend here. I mean, again, this goes into these things are just tickers to buy at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter if something is in a bearish trend, don't own it. Wait for it to go back to bullish trend and then buy it on a dip. It doesn't make any sense to just bag hold these things as it completely destroys your compounded returns over time. Okay? It doesn't make sense. Same with coin. Let me see. No, I mean, I wouldn't say that coin is a leveraged Bitcoin play, but it is in neutral trend right now, Coinbase. So this is something that I'm just waiting and watching on. So when something is a neutral trend, I just wait for it to I wait for it to show me which direction it wants to go. So I'm not buying it. I'm also not selling it. But if it breaks from here, and let's say it closes below 246, then that would be a clear bearish signal. And so, um, yeah, if it goes bearish, then I'm not touching it until it gets strength back again. So. Why does ENVB say it was 7 million 8 years ago? What is that? What is ENVB? What is this? What the heck is this? This was 54 million. Imagine shorting this company. I don't know what this thing is. Um, but I'd probably stay. I wouldn't touch this thing with a 10 million foot pole. The heck, dude. You guys bring up the funniest stocks and cryptocurrencies ever. I love it. That's part of the reason why I love going live, because your guys' questions are they make me laugh. What is Alibaba doing? I think it was in bearish trend the last time I looked, right? Or no, Alibaba's in bullish trend right now. It has been losing volume right here, so I probably wouldn't buy at this point. I'd probably wait for it to give us a little bit more of an opportunity. Do you think the market will crash in Q1 or Q2? I don't know. I'm not trying to predict when things will crash or not. What I am trying to do is just reading the trends and reacting accordingly with a risk management process. And that's really the way to do it. At some point, will the market crash? Sure. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it will. Do you think meme coins are going to pump again? I'm not sure. I mean, the majority of altcoins right now are in a bearish trend, so I would not gamble with it. Ulysses, thank you for the follow. Akam Monbeer, NVIDIA is bearish. Leader Speakers, thank you for the follow. Netflix. Netflix is in bullish trend, but right here, this is not where you want to buy. You want to wait for some type of pullback, maybe to like 937. When's this thing going to have a stock split? Man, $1,000 a share. This thing's probably going to split at some point this year. How can you tell between bearish and bullish? Great question, Ryan. I look at a number of different factors, 4 of them mainly being price action. Is it having a series of higher highs and higher lows on a 6 to 3 month basis? And then taking a look at both the nominal as well as forward price performance, which are these right here. You have to see, okay, is it bullish on a 3 month, 1 month, and 1 week performance basis, as well as what are the forward signals saying as well? If it's bullish, is it losing momentum, or is it gaining momentum still? And then from there, I take a look at volume. So I've created a couple of my own indicators here on TradingView. One is the volume performance table, which shows you a pretty decent outlay of volume, because I don't know if you guys have ever used the volume indicator that is already built in on TradingView. It doesn't really help with performance too much. And so what I did was I created this volume indicator here, which gives you a little bit cleaner of a viewpoint. And if you wanted to go in here and just toggle off the 1 week volume, it gives you a really good display of what volume is doing. And so as of right now, when the red is above the blue, that means volume is accelerating. And so seeing that volume is accelerating, then you have to go to the price charts and be like, okay, if volume is accelerating, what is it doing in comparison to the price? Since the price action is also accelerating, that is clearly bullish, right? And then you also have net cumulative volume in the green. And then you also have, you did see volatility spikes. So that's another signal to just, make sure that you're taking profits at this point. But a lot of this goes into the process, and I've done it so many times, and I do it every single day, all day, that I have a little bit of an eye for it now. But all these indicators are for free if you guys just follow me on TradingView. Just type in tradingview.com/Johnny Zerty. That's my name. And you guys can have all of the different indicators that I have right here. So preloaded into your TradingView. So that's what I got. Let's see. Why the strong QQQ pullback? I mean, it's been signaling that it's been weakening. So it hasn't really pulled back at all. It's still QQQs is still within 2% of its all-time highs. So what kind of pullback are you talking about, Brodero? Soundhound, we just looked at it. Tracy Brown 139. It is still in a bullish trend, but it has lost some momentum. So I'd just be cautious with it. Is it too late to buy it before the split? Again, with Netflix, I'd be selling at this point and ready to buy lower. Rigetti is still bullish, but you have to be careful. All right, let's go over to some of the Instagram comments here. Got out yesterday for MicroStrategy. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. Steaks and meats. Ramia Bound-Nada, I appreciate the viewership. What's your opinion on semiconductors? Semiconductors are bearish. I got to change this to bearish. Yeah, semiconductors are not having a great time ever since that DeepSeek news came out. Intel can't get much lower. Constant construction projects here in Arizona. Tori Hickel, yeah, with Intel, again, if something is in bearish trend, even if you like it fundamentally, you need to have a little bit of patience there to let it reclaim bullish trend on the charts. Okay. And so from right here, you don't have to try and be a hero and time the bottom. That's not how you're going to make money over the long term. What's going to make you money over the long term is being patient and letting the chart itself confirm the bullish trend, which right now it hasn't. So, all right, so let's just play a little bit of a hypothetical here. Let's say you bought it right here and it truly was the bottom, and then it goes back up to these local highs around, $50, right? That's 162% gain. But the risk of it, dropping down further, that comes with trying to time bottoms. And so you have a lot of risk on the downside. Whereas let's say that it went up to like $27 and confirmed its bullish trend. So you bought lower than me at $19. I waited for it to confirm at bullish trend at $27 and it still goes up to 50. Well, that's still an 85% gain. So I completely reduced the amount of risk by waiting for it to confirm bullish trend, and then I still had a decent 80% return, which is almost doubling your money. So I have no problem waiting for it so that I have confidence that I can at least, continue to make money, because I don't care about timing bottoms so that I can try and gamble on getting a better return. I want high probable risk adjusted returns, if that makes sense. Why is crypto down today? I don't know. It's down because it's down. A lot of people come on my live streams and ask, why this? Why is this happening? Why is that at this price? There might be some type of why, but really the why, it's not going to get you paid, because at that point the price already moved on and now there's a new why. That's the reason why it might be going back up again. So although it's important to understand why things are happening, it really doesn't matter. And so that's the beauty about paying attention to the price charts, because you don't have to even care the reason why things are happening. Someone who taught me that was Keith McCullough over at Hedge Eye Risk Management. Got to give him credit for that. I did not come up with that on my own. Got to give credit where credit is due. How does a stock split work? It's where they have the price and then they double your shares. So if Netflix have their price, let's say you own one share at $1,000, then it would go to $500 per share, and they would give you 2 shares. How about Doge? Doge is in a bearish trend. See, even though the nominal chart has 3-month green, my forward indicator has it red. So this trumps, the forward trumps the nominal. And so that's how you can tell it's in a bearish trend. BBAI. Why don't I remember what this company is? Big Bear. Whoa, check out that chart. Huge volume right here. Yeah, I mean, that thing's clearly in a bullish trend. But I would not be buying it here. It's already gone up a lot. Don't chase green. Never chase green. Let it come to you. It's kind of like that, girl that you want to go up and try and talk to. As soon as you try and approach and say something dumb, you've already lost. You have to draw the attraction to yourself. FTX. Bearish. Google is bullish. Apple is bearish. I did buy Google, but I sold a little bit today. Sell H. I don't know what that is. No, Celsius. Yeah, Celsius is bearish, unfortunately. Tesla is neutral. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the employment. So as you guys may have seen my video, this week, the first week of every single month is all about employment data. And so as we've seen so far, on Monday, the ISM manufacturing employment had a large acceleration that we haven't seen since May of 2024. It's been in a uptrend pretty much since the lows of July. The ADP employment change, even though it has been a little bit lower since it's peaked on October 24th, this still remains very high compared to the first half of 2024. ISM services employment still remains very high. Check out that number. It was a lot higher than in the highs of October of 2024. So services employment remains high. This morning, we got the job cuts announcement from the Challenger and Gray and Christmas report, and that was down 40% year over year from January of 2024. Taking a look at this chart on a year over year basis, you can see that the amount of job cuts declined by the largest amount since December of 2023. And so these have been declining ever since we had that peak in October of last year. And so that's an improvement, right? So more companies are, not firing as much, or I'm sorry, for the amount of jobs that are listed, the cutting is declining. Job openings, though, have also been declining. So that was the only negative viewpoint. And so, it goes back to this jobs market right now where, if you have a job, it's pretty much where, you want to hold on to that. If you don't have a job, then it might be a little bit hard. It might be difficult to get a new job depending on where you're at. And then for the big report tomorrow, so we have non-farm payrolls as well as weekly average earnings, weekly hourly earnings, as well as the unemployment rate. Right now, the forecast for the unemployment rate is 4.1%. We'll see if it stays there, if it comes down lower than that, as well as we get better than expected non-farm payrolls from the positive numbers that we've been getting so far this week. That could push the dollar as well as the U.S. 10-year government bond yield off of the lows that it's at right now, similar to what we saw back at the beginning of December, which would further implicate that the Fed really can't cut anytime soon, and the market would not like that. And so, you could see an increase in volatility, especially right now, if you take a look at the volatility index of the S&P 500, let me just go to it real here. You can see that volatility, has been slowly dropping off. And so what does the market like to do when things are coiling into something like this, especially with its uptrend? So you can see that it's been following this uptrend here. And, this is just a point where you don't know what's going to happen, but you want to definitely remain cautious, because if it does go below this, then that would be volatility breaking its trend there. So let me know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's pretty much what I'm looking at here. Turner Cat Ledge, I appreciate the follow there. Thoughts on Trump getting accurate restated government numbers? That could be the case too. We really don't know until they come in. So I'm just looking at the current setup, which is favoring some type of interesting surprise there, but we'll see. But I'd be curious to know what your guys' thoughts are. Revised payroll report with government jobs adjustment. Heard it could really shock the jobs report. Yeah, potentially. I'd be looking forward to that as well. So I would not be surprised, as we know, the jobs report has been, you could say that it's pretty much been doctored. Even though when the revisions come out, you can see what the real labor market is. And so, yeah, we'll just see what happens. But, taking a look at the setup, it is very interesting. Again, you have the 10-year U.S. government bond yield right at this support level line, similar to how it was last time. And so, we'll see. To me, it's a lose-lose situation in the long term, but we'll see how it goes. Because if the labor market comes in worse than expected, and you see a large drop-off in the 10-year government bond yield, that might have a short-term spike in the markets. But if we continue to get the employment situation deteriorating, which it very well could, then that could pose some problems going into the summer months as well as August. So how do we not chase green while also waiting for bullish confirmation? Yeah, great question, Tori Hickel. So you just wait for it to, go green, and then instead of buying it once it has a green candle, wait for a pullback and for it to form a higher low, and that's where you buy. Just, don't chase green. Bro thinks it's 1980 buying stocks. Roman, it sounds like you've never observed the relationship between bonds, currencies, volatility, and the markets, sir. I'm a long-term Bitcoin holder, so I hope it would shock the market, force a rate cut, and weaken the dollar. Well, you have to remember that if you look back in history, if things are deteriorating faster than usual, if the Fed is cutting rates because things are hitting the fan, then Bitcoin typically has a large crash during those environments. So be careful what you wish for, Sean 9. Be careful there. Bitcoin and the S&P are pretty close. Yeah, I mean they're pretty positively correlated. In fact, let me just bring up a correlation table, and I can show you exactly how much they're correlated. Let me see. Where did the downloads go? Actually, what I can do is All right, so I publish this correlation matrix for our community members every single day, and so this shows the correlation heat map of the largest types of assets, right? And so if we look at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin and the S&P 500 have a fairly positive correlation, zero point 0.7. So that's a pretty tight correlation there. And then Bitcoin also has an even more positive correlation with high yield corporate bonds, HYG. And so I would also be looking at HYG as well. What will happen to gold? If the labor market comes in hotter than expected, you could see a little bit of a correction from gold, which I'll be buying it at that point. I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. You can just look at the probabilities, and as of right now, the probabilities is that you might have a little bit hotter of a report than is expected, and so that could be a little bit of a shock to the markets. Taking a look at a price chart of Carvana here. Um, yeah, this bounced and is now a bullish trend. Yeah, and you guys can still look at your more traditional types of indicators like the RSI, stochastic, MACD, those types of things. They're not bad to look at as well, but you just can't base your entire decisions on those alone because they get invalidated a lot. If that makes sense. Is it as bad as Robert Kiyosaki says? I don't know. Robert Kiyosaki is in the business of selling his books and his stuff. So even though he does have some pretty good, lessons in there, you just got to be aware of people who just want to put you on their email list so that they can spam you with multi-level marketing campaigns. How do I know that? Well, I worked for a couple of them for a while, so got sick of it, started my own. All right. Let's see here. I think the last chart that I'll bring up is the rolling 30-day macro correlation matrix versus the S&P 500. So as you can see, the most correlated assets right now are Bitcoin and gold to the S&P. Gold in this blue line here has really, accelerated to the point where, it has been more correlated with the S&P, as well as commodities are also accelerating. The three assets that are decelerating as far as their correlation to the S&P 500 is oil, the 10-year U.S. government bond yield, as well as the dollar, as you can see with this yellow, green, and purple line here. And so, you just have to be a little bit careful when looking at these correlations. But as of right now, if something was to be negative tomorrow, then I would not be surprised if we saw a drawdown in gold, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500, and maybe a little bit of commodities. Any thoughts on Amazon? Yeah, Amazon is in bullish trend. I rose some cash, and we'll probably just wait until um, after the earnings report to see where to go from there. But the reason why it's important for all this stuff is because right now we are in a different regime when it comes to the markets, because with this average higher inflation as well as interest rates, you have to be more careful. That's why it's been a lot harder to invest in this environment, because of this higher than average interest rates as well as inflation. And so this is also going to cause higher than average volatility, which we've pretty much already seen. And that's why it's really important that you have a macro investing process to add to your technical process. And so if you guys want a free 7-day trial on our exact process and how to learn all this stuff, all you have to do is go to the link in my bio and you can start your 7-day free trial. An example report of what this looks like is something like this. Right, today I tell you what exactly is bullish or bearish on all the different sectors, the top 10 stocks, as well as the main indices, as well as give you a little bit of a report, as well as a little bit of insight on what I did in my own portfolio. We also have different courses, as well as all the different resources and books that you guys can have so that you can stay ahead of all these market trend shifts. Again, you can just go to the link in my bio to start your free trial there, which is what I would recommend. But what do you guys think is going to happen in the markets? I'm curious to know what your reactions are. I do have to go here, so if you guys want to go to my more recent video or just send me a DM if you guys need any help at all, please don't hesitate to ask. And I go live every single day at 2 p.m. Today was a little bit late because of the doctor's appointment, but yeah, if you guys need any help at all, just send me a DM. I'll be happy to answer you there. But I appreciate everyone for joining. Good luck out there, and we will catch you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye.